Well, the Punisher is confirmed to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day, which basically confirms that in some capacity, Spider-Man Brand New Day will indeed be a street-level movie. Now, what's really interesting is this news actually takes us back to a report from a while ago that talks about what Marvel Studios originally had planned for the plot for the next Spider-Man movie. And this plot is most likely the one that Tom Holland was speaking about in the interview that he did, where he said him and Zendaya read the script and they were jumping up and down because it was so good and they were so excited. So I think we know what the plot is, but I'm going to throw a twist in here. I've seen a lot of people talking about what could be happening in Spider-Man Brand New Day now that the Punisher is involved, and the best theory that I've seen so far is kind of crazy, but it's that perhaps the Punisher becomes Agent Venom. Now, I've seen quite a bit of talk about this theory actually. I'm not sure who the original poster is, but I believe it came from Reddit user Jay's Pack. And yes, it does seem a little far-fetched, and we'll talk about what that old rumored plot for Spider-Man Brand New Day is, but the theory does kind of connect in certain ways. Like, the idea behind it would be that he would simply become Agent Venom instead of Flash Thompson, because in the MCU right now it doesn't really seem like Flash Thompson would go and join the military and become Agent Venom. But at the same time, we do know that there is a Venom symbiote in the MCU, and that after all is what Spider-Man No Way Home's post-credit scene set up Venom in the MCU, and the last Venom movie kind of hinted at that as well. And to add to this, a theory of my own, perhaps the Hulk is actually helping Spider-Man fight Venom slash the Punisher. Can you imagine Frank Castle with the Venom symbiote? It would be gnarly. Now, that's a long shot and probably isn't going to happen, but it's fun to think about. So go ahead and let me know your thoughts on that. But basically what we had heard before, and this is coming from several different sources actually. I know Jeff Snyder talked about it on the Hot Mic podcast at one point in time, and the insider My Time to Shine Hello also talked about the Punisher appearing in Spider-Man Brand New Day. They were both right. Now, on the note of Venom, we have heard that Spider-Man is at some point going to get that Venom symbiote. So keep that in mind, because it very well could be involved in this plot of Spider-Man Brand New Day. That way, when they go into Doomsday and Secret Wars, Tom Holland's Spider-Man might actually have the symbiote to help him out. And it does seem like Eddie Brock might go over into the main Marvel Cinematic Universe. They did leave him in New York City at the end of the last Venom film, and the last time he went into the MCU, he was simply transported to a new universe, but he was in the same exact spot. When he was in the bar and he went to the other universe, he was still in the bar in that other universe. So by that logic, if he went into a different universe from where he's at right now, he would be in New York with Spider-Man. So that's something to keep in mind as well. But as far as what we've heard the actual plot is going to be, we've heard that it is going to be Spider-Man and the Punisher versus the Hulk. So let's real quick run down what The Hollywood Reporter has said in their new exclusive article, stating Jon Bernthal joins Tom Holland in Spider-Man Brand New Day. The Punisher is back. Jon Bernthal has appeared in several Marvel television series as the stone-cold vigilante known as the Punisher, even headlining his own series. Now he's taken his guns to the big screen. Bernthal has joined Tom Holland in Spider-Man Brand New Day, the latest Spider-Man movie from Sony and Marvel. Destin Daniel Cretton is directing the feature, which will shoot in England this summer and has a July 31st, 2026 release date. Now, they don't really offer much about the actual plot of the movie, but they do say this. The only thing clear at this stage is that Zendaya and Jacob Batalong are reprising their roles as MJ and best friend Ned. Although how substantial those roles will be remains unclear. And Stranger Things star Sadie Sink is the big new addition so far. Then they say having Bernthal as the Punisher seems to point to a slightly more grounded angle on the story, as the character hails from the gritty street corner of Marvel's universe and, in the comics at least, uses fists, knives, and guns to tussle with bad guys rather than spells or fancy tech. But hey, having him square off against a rampaging Hulk could be fun too. And I do think this is all a part of a plan to get the Savage Hulk back. I think this is where we see it happen. All signs point to the Hulk, the Savage Hulk, returning in Spider-Man Brand New Day. But real quick, to talk about Sadie Sink, I will say on the Hot Mic podcast, where Jeff Snyder reported that he heard Jon Bernthal's Punisher was going to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day, they also did report not too long ago that they have heard Sadie Sink could be playing Mayday Parker. Now, this was John Rocha reporting this, not Jeff Snyder, so it could be a different source, but it is something to keep in mind. That could add a slightly multiversal angle to the movie, but at the same time, maybe perhaps she is playing an MJ of this particular universe of 616. Kevin Feige confirmed at one point in time that Zendaya's MJ is not the same MJ from the comics. It's kind of a new character with a very similar name. Remember, her name is not Mary Jane Watson, it's Michelle Jones Watson. So perhaps Sadie Sink could actually be playing the comic version of Mary Jane Watson, somebody that perhaps Peter meets in college. But I still like the idea of her playing a Mayday Parker, being the daughter of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man from a different universe, but go ahead and let me know your thoughts about that in the comments down below. So the plot of Spider-Man Brand New Day really is a device that Marvel's going to use to set up the Savage Hulk to return in the Avengers films, because let's face it, Marvel has heard everybody talk, and they know that we're tired of Smart Hulk or Science Hulk, whatever everybody is calling him nowadays. They know the fans want the Savage Hulk back, and that's what they're going to do. And that seemingly is going to be caused by Spider-Man and the Punisher. Now, what are they going to do to cause the Savage Hulk to come out again? That's still up in the air. But they really are using this story to connect to not only Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, but to connect to the world of Daredevil. And this might be kind of a makeshift solution from Marvel Studios to a problem that they might have with Sony. Kingpin actor Vincent D'Onofrio, while doing interviews for Daredevil Born Again, at one point in time mentioned that he didn't think that his character Kingpin could appear in movies, stating that he believed it was due to a rights situation with Sony. And that kind of raises a problem with Spider-Man Brand New Day, because this is taking place pretty dang near the events of Daredevil Born Again, where Mayor Fisk is causing some problems. But who knows how Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is going to end, because it's scheduled to release in March 2026, but the Punisher special presentation is supposed to come out right before then. Then we'll be getting Spider-Man Brand New Day in July. So it's all going to be really close together, which means the story should somehow weave into New York City, which means Peter Parker / Spider-Man should be involved in some way, shape, or form, especially with his Spidey sense. And remember, Matt Murdock and Peter Parker have met before, and Matt Murdock knows that he was representing Spider-Man because everybody knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man. So Matt should know Spider-Man, and I'm sure Peter's Spidey sense will tell him that Daredevil is Matt Murdock, the lawyer that he used. So you would think that they would involve Daredevil and Kingpin in some way, shape, or form, but it seems like they can't use Kingpin. Sure, they could use Daredevil, but it looks like right now Frank Castle is our connection. And if there is any grounded street level character that doesn't really have any superpowers that is going to take on a Hulk with Spider-Man, yeah, I'd say Frank is your guy. And what would piss the Hulk off? Well, the Punisher shooting him with a ton of bullets would. Now, I don't think that Peter Parker and the Punisher caused the Hulk to Hulk out. I think Bruce Banner most likely has some sort of an accident, and that brings the Hulk out. And Spider-Man, having worked with him before, you know, being a part of the Avengers and everything, probably wants to help him. And somehow he gets Frank Castle, the Punisher, to go in on this and help him as well. Maybe the Punisher goes out to take him down himself, and then ultimately runs into Spider-Man, and Spider-Man convinces him to, you know, not kill him, if you even could kill him. Remember, in the Avengers, Bruce Banner said that he put a bullet in his mouth and the Hulk spit it back out. But maybe Peter can convince the Punisher to actually try to help him bring back Bruce Banner rather than actually try to defeat the Hulk. Either way, a Punisher Spider-Man team up to go up against the Incredible Hulk, being savage once again, sounds like a pretty dang good story for a movie. But go ahead, let me know all of your thoughts about this in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest MCU news. You can find us on most social medias, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.